Have you ever had one of those days where you feel so drained that all you want to do is sit down, lie down, and do as little as possible? And maybe at first that feels like the right answer. You tell yourself, I'm tired. My body needs rest. I'll take it easy today. But then something strange happens. You rest more and somehow feel even worse. Your body feels heavier. Your legs feel weaker. Your energy drops even lower. Even simple things start to feel like too much. If you are over 60, and that sounds familiar, I want you to know something very important. You are not imagining it. And no, it is not always just aging, because sometimes the very thing that feels like relief in the moment is quietly making the fatigue worse. Today, we are going to talk about something that surprises a lot of older adults. Sometimes too much rest does not restore energy. Sometimes it drains it. And if you have been feeling more tired, more sluggish, or less motivated lately, this video may help you understand why. We are going to walk through what happens when the body is not used enough, why too much sitting can make stamina disappear faster than most people realize, how to tell the difference between normal tiredness and low energy from inactivity, and most importantly, how to start getting some of that natural energy back without pushing yourself too hard. Because the goal is not to do more and more until you are exhausted. The goal is to wake your body back up. And sometimes that starts with just a little more movement than you thought you needed. Let's begin with the first truth most people are never told. The body does not stay strong by being protected from use. It stays strong by being used in the right way. That may sound simple, but it changes everything. A lot of people think of the body like a machine that wears out faster the more you use it. But in many ways, the human body works differently. Your muscles, your circulation, your lungs, your balance, even your alertness during the day, all respond to activity. When you move regularly, even in small ways, the body keeps receiving the message, stay ready, stay active, stay responsive. But when movement drops too low for too long, the body starts adapting in the opposite direction. It begins to do less because less is being asked of it. Muscles weaken, joints stiffen, circulation slows, endurance fades. Energy starts to feel flatter and harder to access. And here is the frustrating part. This decline can happen quietly. You may not notice it all at once. It starts small. You avoid stairs a little more often. You sit down sooner while doing chores. You stop taking short walks. You rest after things that did not used to tire you. Then over time, the body begins to expect less from itself. And once that cycle starts, everyday life can begin to feel more exhausting. Not because you are doing too much, but because your system has become less conditioned to do ordinary things. That is why too much rest can sometimes create the very fatigue you are trying to escape. Not because rest is bad, rest is essential, but the body needs the right balance between recovery and use. Real recovery helps the body come back stronger. Too much inactivity often makes it feel weaker. And that brings us to the next point. Why does lying down or sitting too much make stamina drop so quickly? The answer is that stamina is not something the body stores forever. It is something the body maintains through use. Think about how quickly you notice a difference after a period of doing less. Maybe after a few days of staying home. Your legs feel less steady. A short walk feels longer. Standing at the kitchen counter makes your back ache sooner. You feel winded faster. You need more breaks. That is not laziness. That is deconditioning. And deconditioning can happen faster than many people expect, especially after 60. The less the body is challenged, even gently, the more quickly it starts to scale things down. Your heart and lungs stop working as efficiently. Your muscles stop firing as strongly. Your body becomes less practiced at the basic work of standing, walking, bending, reaching, and carrying. So then what happens? You do less because you feel tired. Then you feel more tired because you have done less. That is the trap. And once people get stuck in that pattern, they often blame themselves or blame age alone. But in many cases, what they are really experiencing is a body that has gotten too little movement for too long. This is one reason recovery after illness, after winter, after pain flares, or after long periods of staying indoors can feel so difficult. It is not only that you are tired, it is that the body has lost some of its rhythm. The good news is that rhythm can often be rebuilt, but first, it helps to know the signs that your fatigue may be linked to too little activity, not just age. So what should you look for? One common sign is this: you feel tired, but not deeply restored by rest. You sit or lie down for long periods, but instead of feeling refreshed, you feel stiff, heavy, foggy, or even less motivated. Another sign is that your energy improves a little once you finally start moving. You may not want to get up at first, but after a short walk, some light chores, or just standing and moving around for 10 minutes, you begin to feel more awake. That is a clue. Another sign is that simple physical tasks have become harder faster. Things like getting dressed, walking through the grocery store, carrying light bags, or climbing a small set of stairs suddenly feel more draining than they used to. You may also notice that your legs feel weak, your posture collapses more easily, or your balance feels less confident, and sometimes there is a mental side too. Too much inactivity can make people feel dull, flat, unmotivated, or disconnected from the day, not because they are doing something wrong, but because the body and brain often work better when they are getting regular signals of life, movement, and engagement. Now, this does not mean every kind of fatigue comes from inactivity. Persistent exhaustion can also be related to sleep problems, medications, pain, depression, heart issues, thyroid problems, anemia, or many other health concerns. So if your tiredness is severe, sudden, or getting worse, that is worth discussing with your doctor. But for many older adults, there is another truth hiding in plain sight. Part of the fatigue may be coming from a body that needs gentle activation, not more hours of shutting down. And that leads to an important distinction. Resting well is not the same as living passively. These two things are very different. Healthy rest is intentional. It has a purpose. You take a break so your body can recover from effort. You pause so your mind can settle. You sleep so your system can repair itself. That kind of rest is powerful, but passive living, different. Passive living is when long stretches of the day happen with very little movement, very little physical challenge, and very little engagement. It often feels harmless because it does not feel intense, but over time it can quietly chip away at strength, stamina, flexibility, and confidence. This is especially important after 60 because the body responds strongly to patterns. If your pattern says sit, lie down, and avoid exertion whenever possible, the body starts organizing itself around that instruction. But if your pattern says move a little, stand up often, use your legs, use your arms, stay involved, then the body keeps more of its function. So the answer is not to stop resting. The answer is to rest well and live actively. That means allowing recovery when you need it, while also giving your body regular reminders that it is still meant to move. And the good news is, those reminders do not have to be dramatic. You do not need a gym membership. You do not need a hard workout. You do not need to push through exhaustion. What you often need is something much simpler. Small, repeatable movement that gently wakes the body back up. Let's talk about what that can look like. If you have been feeling tired, heavy, or sluggish, the fastest way to fail is to expect yourself to suddenly become highly active overnight. That usually backfires. The better approach is to think in terms of small sparks, tiny things that signal energy to the body. For example, you might begin with a 5-minute walk inside the house or just outside the front door. Not a power walk, not a fitness test, just a few minutes of steady walking. Or you might stand up and sit down from a chair 5 times in a row, once or twice a day, if that feels safe for you. That simple movement wakes up the legs, hips, and core. You might put on one song and gently march in place while holding on to a counter. You might do light stretches in the morning near the bed. You might walk while talking on the phone instead of staying seated. You might do one extra trip down the hallway instead of waiting until later. None of these sound dramatic. That is exactly why they work. They are manageable. And when something feels manageable, you are far more likely to repeat it. That repetition matters more than intensity, because what your body needs is not one huge burst of effort. It needs regular signals. Move, breathe, stand, walk, use the muscles, wake the system up. Even light activity can help stimulate circulation, reduce stiffness, improve alertness, and remind the body that the day is not over. For many people, the goal is not to exercise harder. It is to stop telling the body to shut down all day long. And here is something else that matters. Movement often creates energy before it feels like it should. This is why waiting to feel energetic first can keep people stuck. Sometimes the energy does not come before movement. Sometimes it comes because of movement. That may be the single most important mindset shift in this entire video. Do not wait to feel completely ready. Start small enough that readiness is not required. Now, of course, there are times when true rest is necessary. If you are sick, recovering from injury, having chest pain, feeling faint, or dealing with new or unusual symptoms, that is different. This video is not about ignoring real physical limits. It is about recognizing a common pattern many older adults fall into: feeling tired, resting more, getting weaker, and then mistaking that weakness for proof that they should do even less. If that cycle sounds familiar, I want to encourage you with this. Your energy may not be gone. It may simply be underused. And that means there is hope, because underused strength can often be rebuilt. Underused stamina can often improve. Underused energy can often return little by little with the right kind of daily movement. So as we close, here is the message I want to leave with you. If you are over 60 and feeling tired all the time, do not assume the answer is always more rest. Sometimes what your body needs is better rest. And sometimes what it needs is a gentle reason to come alive again. A short walk, a few sit-to-stands, a little fresh air, a small daily routine that reminds your muscles, your lungs, and your nervous system that they are still part of an active life. Because the truth is, too much rest can sometimes make you feel older than you are, and a little more movement done gently and consistently can help you feel more like yourself again. So tonight or tomorrow morning, do not ask, how can I avoid using my energy? Ask, what small movement can help me create some? And before you go, tell me in the comments, have you ever noticed that resting too much actually made you feel worse? Or which small activity helps you feel more awake again? If this video helped you rethink fatigue after 60, save it and share it with someone who may need to hear this too. Take care of yourself, keep moving gently, and I will see you in the next video.